Well, we at ET Now spoke to none other than Sanjiv Bajaj, who is the CMD, Bajaj Finserv, to understand how crucial it is for India to become Atmanirbhar in financial services in order to become Atmanirbhar India. In fact, at the Times Network India Economic Conclave, Sanjiv Bajaj stated that he is very confident that the next decade can be India's, and for that, while many things are required, it requires an Atmanirbharta in financial services. He stated that he is hoping that what gets developed over the next 10 years is a roadmap that is consistent, transparent and supportive to all kinds of capital in order to become Atmanirbhar in financial services and thus Atmanirbhar India. He stated that even in order to achieve a $5 trillion GDP dream, India needs to grow at a consistent pace of nearly around 11.5% for the next 10 years. The current rate of gross fixed capital formation, which is right now at 27% of GDP, needs to thus rise to 33% of GDP. In fact, between the best years of India, which was 2005 and 2008, the capital formation was of course 33% of GDP, but of course it has fallen now and that needs to rise. He stated that any large economy has very strong domestic financial services that ensures it channelizes the domestic savings into productive investments. That's one area. The second area is it also builds a strong platform to attract FDI in specific sectors, which of course differs from country to country, and also a large economy enables solid set of public and private institutions that can drive the capital to productive uses. So it is a combination of all these factors that would be required for India to grow further. In fact, countries like USA, Germany, Japan were all built on a very strong financial institutions that were domestically led, and that is exactly what India needs. Even a small country like Singapore made a very big difference to its economy by focusing first on being financially independent, and this is the point that he was stressing on. In fact, he stated that India does have 5 key levers, and first lever is of course a high savings rate is required in order to become Atmanirbhar in financial services. While the savings rate of course has fallen to 30% of GDP versus the 38% of GDP over the last decade, a 30% of GDP savings rate is still good enough in order to achieve a greater penetration of financial assets. He stated that what India needs to do is India needs to channelize the high savings rate into productive financial assets so that they just don't get stuck up in real estate and gold. The second lever that he spoke about is the balance focused of foreign capital as well as the domestic capital. That is very crucial for India. He also stated that we need to debate on what kind of investment should be there within the public sector and what kind of investment should be there within the private sector. He stated that large national infrastructure projects which are of long gestation period and of strategic importance, these are the certain sectors wherein public sector of course should be involved, but opportunities where private sector can enter but are perceived of high risk, therein we should be having a public private partnership, and the rest should in fact be left open for private entrepreneurship. He also mentioned that the role of public sector banks, NBFCs and private banks is crucial, and that government will do very well in to clarify which PSU banks it wants to control and make it clear how it will use them. As most of these companies, the PSU banks are listed companies, so it is very crucial that government provides shareholders the necessary comfort as well as transparency. India would require all types of lending institutions for the financial services to gain further penetration pan-India. He stated that private banks and NBFCs must be encouraged to grow with the right governance under RBI supervision system of course, and he also stated that RBI must treat private banks and NBFCs at a level playing footing with other banks, be it in terms of capital access, customer management, supervisory treatment, etc. The fifth lever he spoke about is the public discourse. He stated that for foreign capital to become sticky, we need to develop trust. by informing clearly about the approach to policy and by staying consistent and transparent. For this, we definitely require a wider public discourse. There is a great opportunity for very few countries like us to find our own way of building our future. So yes, in short, Mr. Bajaj did stress upon the need of becoming Atmanirbhar in financial services for India, in fact, to become truly self-reliant and achieve the $5 trillion economy dream.